Welcome to Out of the Box Radio with me, your host, Christine Blasdale. Out of the Box Radio is a weekly podcast of audible ear candy dedicated to bringing a fresh perspective on this thing that we call life. And each and every week, we're going to be diving into the topics that matter most with lively conversations on issues such as health, wellness, and transformational healing, all with the goal of creating a better world and becoming a happier human being. I will be your tour guide for this epic adventure, and each and every week, we're going to be embarking on a journey with the ultimate goal being transformation to our highest potential. And now, let's get out of the box. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Out of the Box Radio. I am really excited about today's show because, well, we're in the month of February. We're in the month of love. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and I have one of my favorite loves in the world, a dear, dear friend of mine, intuitive master, medical intuitive, brilliant soul, Ms. Abigail Noel is on the phone. And what are you doing over there, Abigail?
Hey, that's how are you?
Was that a bottle that just popped again?
Yeah.
No.
A picture. I just walked by and a picture just flew off. No, kid you not, just flew off the wall.
I heard that, and everybody heard that. Everybody heard that. So explain.
So
there was a picture on the wall. A picture of what?
Well, it's a little picture. It's a plaque. Let me go back here and let me get it. It fell behind the desk. It hangs on the wall. It's been there since I moved here, so over a year. And yeah, over a year. It's been hanging on this wall. Well, maybe just a year, because it probably took me a month or so to get it on the wall when I moved in, or whatever that was. But it's a plaque that a client and dear friend gave me. It says, "The greatest gift I ever had came from God. I call him Dad, because I call Mama and Daddy love." And so I'll say Daddy,
and this whole show is about love.
And so that plaque, which has been hanging on the wall without a problem all this time, I just walked by like I would any other day. I mean, I've done that probably 10 or 12 times so far today, and it popped off the wall in that moment. So there's synchronicity for you. And then before we got started today, it was just so crazy. I was connecting with you on Skype, and I pulled out my water bottle from the refrigerator to pour a glass of water. And as I was looking to call you on Skype, the top popped off, and it was right as the clock, as my time changed to 3:44, and the battery was at 33%. So that was pretty wild. 33 is the number of the ascendeds, be the number of love. The number of love also as is 5, which represents a Christed heart, which would be a very open heart. Anyway, so I'm honored to be here.
Yes.
Pictures falling off the wall, bottle tops. I guess the whole team's happy to be here. But
well, and
I love you. Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
And I think that's a huge message, because when we talk about February, we talk about Valentine's Day. So many people think that it's romantic love, that we're celebrating just romantic love. If husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever.
Well,
but
exhausting.
But really, the message of love is, when it comes down to it, is when you're talking about daddy love. If you want to call the universe, God, supreme being, supreme love, that really is, to me, the message. And it's my favorite month. It's my favorite holiday. I think it should be an actual national paid holiday, but because it is the celebration of love, too. So let's talk about that first hit that you got, especially when that picture came off the wall. But let's talk about love.
Chills.
Let's talk about love. What is love, Abigail?
What is love? Love. I love to. I'm going to quote Christine from one of our podcasts from some months ago.
Oh, I've never been quoted before. This is good.
Love is a helium emotion, she said. It was just so awesome. I was like, yes, I love that. Yeah. Love is a helium emotion. Love is the most powerful energy, force, source that is known in the universes. I mean, it's so powerful that our science here in the third dimensional realm can't figure it out, really. Science would support the statement that God is love. And we're here to experience God, love, and truth being your own authentic nature. right here on the planet, the third, and that would be heaven on earth. I think for anyone to be able to walk here in your authentic nature means to walk in no fear. So what is love? Love is fearless. Love is kind. Love is not nice, and love isn't polite. Love's not rude either. Love is bold. Love is brave. Love never sets expectations, because love is free. Love is an experience. Love is life. It's amazing. It's healing.
Action. Love is action.
Action. Oh yeah, love is an action. It's absolutely an action. Even love sometimes is an action that looks like a nap. It's a great random act of self-love, taking a nap. So that's a love action right there. Yes. Even when you're sleeping, right?
Yes. And Abigail, if folks have been listening to Out of the Box Radio for any amount of time, first of all, Abigail was my very first guest on my very first show, which was over a year ago, and we have been talking about so many different subjects. We've talked about, of course, we've channeled in Prince. Prince has come to you, Marilyn Monroe. We've had so many different conversations. We've talked about twin hearts, twin souls, the soulmate connection, a little bit about reincarnation, but really one of the most popular subjects now is this whole idea of twin heart, twin souls. Now, for people who don't know, or who haven't heard the previous shows, and if you want to hear any of those programs, folks, you can go to YouTube, the Out of the Box Radio YouTube channel, and you'll see all of the different programs that Abigail and I have done, and many of them have been talking about twin hearts, twin flames, quote unquote, and the Hunger Games and all of this stuff. But for those people who are not familiar with it, let's talk about twin hearts, because we are coming up on Valentine's Day. And what is, when someone says, what is a twin heart or twin flame? This is like the real basic level. And do we have more than one?
Yes and yes. The second question, though, do we have more than one? Depends on the soul level.
So some people have just one twin heart.
Some people have when you split the first time into two. Mm-hmm. So you separate your masculine from your feminine. That's after you make your first. You have to ascend. You have to ascend once to qualify for this option, they would say. Heaven always says, because it's always our choice. So you have a new option once you've ascended one time. And you can split yourself from your masculine and your feminine at that point. And most souls choose to. It's coming in right now that there came a time when it became required after Atlantis, because it was the only way we were going to get revelation anchored on time. And it is anchored, by the way. We are about 1 year. I just got chills. Right at about 1 year into a 22-year. There's the 22. The 22-year cycle, spiritual cycle, which is foundations. We're building the foundation for a love-reigned planet, a planet that is ruled by love and love only. No need for walls, borders, governments, all of that. Going back to twin hearts. You have 26,742. Thank you. 1,000 years, illusionary Earth years, they're called, which is funny because people say, well, we haven't been around that long. You have parallel lives, 3 to 7, depending on your light body and the age of the soul, which are almost always directly related. Some souls, no judgment in my statement, but some souls are lazier than others. Some souls are a little crazier than others. Some are lazier, some are crazier. Right. There you go. Take your pick, lazy or crazy. And so some like to move faster and take more classes and evolve more and grow more in each lifetime. Some like to move a little slower and just take a little less trauma, just a little less pain to the brain. Some souls want less pain to the brain. They just said they want to take it easy. So with that said, then after you have, so then you make the return. So you have 3 to 7 parallel lives. So, let's say you live 90 years, then you multiply that 3 times 7 just for that one character. And that learning and growing, that evolutionary process is to bring you back to your authentic self. When you vibrate 100% authentic, meaning seriously, there's no fear. You will take a mic, you'll take a stage. You don't mind dying. You know God's in control. You have surrendered 100% to who you are. This is love. And to a higher power, to your higher self, however you want to call that, to your heart. And you are really kind of, you're digging life, so then you ascend again. Well, when you get to that place, what happens, and this goes back to the twin hearts, and we'll wrap it all up, then you'll be with the twin heart that is your sacred partner, the one who has become your sacred partner. And that's a story in itself, because that's a process that plays out over these thousands and thousands of lifetimes. What's interesting is these twin heart partners, some, but very few. Most are here with either two extras, so 3 total. You're in a triad, or you've got 4. You're in a 5-pointed star. So most people are either in a triad, they're calling the triad, meaning that you're here with 2 jokers, a lot like yourself.
Right.
Gratitude. And these are love mates. Okay, twin heart partners will also anchor energy. We play all roles to each other. These are all twin hearts. So your twin hearts will play mother, father, and so this person who is your sacred partner, you would have been required to play every role to each other, and some of the hardest roles, some of your toughest, hardest, most traumatic past lives will be played with this person until you literally vibrate at your authentic nature. And then what happens is the return is made. In some lifetimes, it may be completely written, meaning it was contracted. You wrote your movie to be with one of these other partners.
So in this lifetime, we most all do meet our twin heart or twin flame sacred partner in this lifetime, but we don't necessarily end up with them, or is that the ultimate goal?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Well, here's the ultimate goal, though, is if we choose, any rejection will always be a promotion.
Okay.
What that means is you're actually, those are the twin heart Hunger Games. If you survive the first relationship, you go to the next one. If you survive that one, you keep moving up. In many lifetimes, because we already know what our light body can handle, we don't all qualify yet to make the complete return. Not everyone here on the planet is going to make it back 100% to their authentic self. They know that before they leave. Yes. In which case, they will have a relationship. It could be a deep, loving relationship, and then we'll go to the 6 elements with a twin heart partner. But there will be, there may be some struggles. There may even be some very tough struggles. These are classes that we agree to take so that we can take what my team, my guides and channel calls the Corinthians love courses. And each one of us is required to earn that loving relationship by doing the emotional work that's necessary.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Well, in from what I'm getting, that little voice that's inside me keeps saying is that also, sometimes we can be with a twin heart that, yes, it's all those things, all the synchronicities, all the, I'm feeling you when you're thinking of me, blah, 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 blah. But then also that person can be in our lives to really teach us great lessons, meaning, either destroy our hearts or just, completely obliterate our hearts. And but the lesson being that no matter what that person does, you still hold absolute love, unconditional love for them. Doesn't mean that you're going to be with them or that you're going to, stay in that relationship, but that you still hold that space of love. And does that not, though, also prepare you for the next twin heart or the next?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And the harder you fall, the closer you're getting.
Okay.
Because we're here to do one thing and one thing only. That is whatever your definition of God is. So for me, it's mama and daddy love. Mama and daddy love. And with that, and I do not align, for anyone who's, doesn't know or is listening for the first time, I do not align or subscribe to any religion whatsoever. And that's by my guidance. So Father God doesn't appreciate religion very much. That's not to offend anybody. It's just, it's blocked our ability to psychically connect. The teachings have directly blocked people's ability to connect to God themselves. So it's like, can you imagine, like, why would your father like anyone that was keeping your phone from you so you couldn't call? It means like, oh yeah, I love that person.
Right.
He's trying to talk to everybody, right? So going back to that, our ability to learn how God loves, that's the only reason that we are here, and to love the most difficult people in our lives anyway. Sometimes you have to do that from a distance. Sometimes, and always loving self first, always taking self into consideration, first, but loving that person anyway, and always, forgiving, which means, anytime they want to come back. Because here's the beautiful part. These relationships, wow, what's beautiful is when you really start being the change that you want to see. So if you're frustrated or, you feel whatever that is that's lacking in any relationship in your life, and you just start doing that for the other person, recognizing that they truly are a mirror, just start being what you need for yourself, and letting go of the idea that you need anything from anyone else in any relationship in your life. It's amazing. And then just forgiving that person, and moving on from the lesson. Oh my gosh, what'll happen is God will start bringing people back to your life. Once you let go, and that's what that's all about.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is for self, so once you let go of anything personal in these relationships that we have, no matter how much it hurts, God will bring that person back almost always. And if not that person, then God, who is love, will bring back something to your life that serves way more. That's why rejection is always a promotion. Always a promotion.
I love that. And, I'm just going on social media, clicking through. I see so many friends that are really struggling with this, this idea of finding that love outside of themselves, first of all, and that someone else is going to make them whole or complete, but then also really being, disillusioned with someone, or in a relationship, and not getting their needs met, and kind of putting it out there that's how,
and crying about it.
Well, complaining about it, and I mean, and I understand, expressing their emotion. I totally get expressing their emotion, but also that it sends out a signal too, does it not? That's not possible for them, that they won't have that love. And if you put that signal out, are we not also kind of asking for that energy back? That's why it's so important to love yourself, right?
Absolutely. Well, God has no needs. No, he didn't send anyone here to save the world. He can save the world his damn self. If mom and dad could take care of that. We're here to have a human experience. And to understand how God, who is love, how the universe, and this goes back to the laws and principles of attraction and Einstein's theory of relativity. You're going to go wherever you know. So, and the laws and principles of attraction say that every single thing that comes your way, so that means every shitty relationship that comes your way came your way to benefit you.
Right. Okay. Let's repeat that again.
Complain about a relationship. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that's true.
Yes, exactly.
And so you'll have people. Sorry, my apologies, but it makes me mad. It's just like, not mad, but just, it's maddening to me in my heart when you see people like put quotes up about the laws and principles of attraction, or they'll quote, Abraham Hicks, and then bitch about the relationship they're in. At a certain point, we can't have it both ways.
I love the fact that what you were talking about, that you can take something that even though it looks like it's a negative, and we so easily like blame ourselves, or we say, oh, this didn't work out. All men are the same. All women are the same. Whatever the thing, the story is that we tell. But like you said, what did you learn from that? Some of my biggest heartaches, I have grown so exponentially that I would never have grown. I would never be the person I am today if I didn't have those heartbreaks, if I didn't have those letdowns or whatever situations in my life in regards to relationship. I wouldn't have grown to be who I am today. And also to know what love is. Sometimes you need to see what love is not.
Oh, always. Oh, absolutely. The only way you'll ever figure out what you want in any situation is to know what you don't want. That's key. The only way to become an expert is to make mistakes. There you go. So basically, at this point, I'm a love expert. Then, if you want to look at it,
I got a PhD in it.
And then this beautiful part is one day I was face down and just expressing it not as a victim. And believe me though, and you know this. Oh man, you're gonna feel like a victim sometimes when your heart's broken. You're gonna go there. We all do. And so I've rode the victim train through this process. I have met 5 now. I'm here with 6 of these buggers. So I've gone through 5 twin heart Hunger Games. So that's like,
you deserve a medal
now. I didn't die yet. And they say I've got 1 more to go. And when I found out I had 1 more to go and I really understood this process that I've consciously been in since I was 24. So good gravy. We were at 23 going on 24 years that I've consciously, since I met my first twin heart reflection. That's what my guides call them. When you have mastered the balance between your higher self, which is also, guys, this is great for the dialogue. God speaks in symbols and totems and colors and numbers. They love numbers. The black and white animals, any black and white animal, but especially the zebra, is part of the dialogue. It symbolizes, because the black and white animals are the bravest on the planet. When you return to your authentic nature, which is brave and fearless about being who you are, then that's the balance. It represents that water and fire balance. Steam
is that
is
also
the most
the
powerful
balance
element.
Is that also the balance of the embracing both your masculine and feminine?
Yes. Okay. Yes, it's exactly that same masculine, feminine side.
I'm wondering if that's why, like, when people talk about, when it's been written about angels and guides and things like that, that they're androgynous, or that they're both male and female. They're not one gender or the other.
No, neither are we when we get to heaven.
Oh, I love that. I can wear a mustache.
Yes. Oh my God, we dress up all the time. They said like they said it's like Shakespeare up there. I mean, we dress up all the time.
It's like a big Renaissance fair.
Oh my God, all the time. It's a costume party. It's a Renaissance fair. It's a concert. It's boating. It's picnics. It's the best day you could ever imagine in life. And you can just free to be you. That's love. That is love. I'm getting full chills.
Yeah, me too.
It's beautiful. And this is what's so cool is we have a heaven self, and then all of the roles, all of the lives, those characters because we write them. We think up the character. We wrote this. This is why it's so important to love yourself. Love Day. It's about loving yourself first, because you will only give to someone else what you've got right here on the inside. And what's really beautiful is we wrote. So think about it. It's like we wrote this character. Why not love it? Why not love the movie as best you can? And remember that any good movie, there's laughter and tears. There's going to be joy and there's going to be pain, because. And this takes me back to this. I was going through a twin heart heartbreak. It was my fireside, and the 2 upper ones are harder. They're tougher. They're the ones that you just want to kind of like claw your heart out, poke your eyeballs out, hide in a cave. You lose, you lose weight. You look like people ask you what, if you're sick. You're like, no, it's heartbreak. It's horrible. It's just horrible. And you feel like an idiot most of the time. Just it's horrible. So. With that said, I was going through one of those, and I was face down, just face down that day. And I was talking. So what do? I stop, drop, and roll. That's what they call it. Stop, drop, and roll. And I bring it to my team. I connect to Mama. I connect to Daddy Love. I connect to Jay, anyone that'll talk to me. Because at this point, I'm a whiny ass victim. I just hope they'll come in. I know they will. And I was talking to Father God, and I said, why does the heartbreak? I said, why does it have to hurt so bad to be here on the planet? Like, seriously? That's what I said to him. I'm like, can you please tell me why? And this is what he said. I could never forget these words. He said, sweetheart, you will only walk as close to me, love, as you have allowed yourself, as you have allowed your heart to be broken. That's what he said.
Wow.
In love, gratitude. And walking close to God is walking your authentic self. When you're walking that close to God and you know how much that creative energy adores you, no matter how bad you've, messed it up that day, or no matter how you might have messed it up for years. And I love that, because it's like, if you don't think so, then just book a session with me and I'll tell you like how bad I have messed up the last 48, and I'm still cruising. They love me. So,
and if you want to know, just want to let our listeners, I want to remind our listeners that I'm speaking with Abigail Noel. She's a master intuitive, medical intuitive, and you can find out more about her at abigailnoel.com. That's AbigailNoel.com. And we are talking about love. It is we're looking forward to Valentine's Day. I celebrate pretty much the entire month of February because I love love. I love the day. I'd say February 14th is probably better for me. It's a day that I celebrate even more than my birthday, more than Christmas, more than any of these holidays that we have official holidays, because it is a celebration of love. And again, when I think about love, I don't think about it just the romantic sense, although I am very much a romantic. I do think about the love that we have for our pets, for our children, for our parents, if the relationship is conducive to that, for our friends. That type of love really needs to be celebrated as well. And so that's what we're talking about in this show, and we're celebrating love and talking about loving ourselves. Let's go back to that idea too about, I really want to tap into that. I think my personal belief is that the ultimate journey is to accept and love both of our masculine and feminine side. And isn't it strange, Abby, that in this world, in this plane, in this existence, in this time that we are in, there is such an emphasis on being either uber feminine or uber masculine. Are you a boy or a girl? Should we wrap it in pink or blue? Even with people who are struggling with their identity, their gender identity. Thank you, Train. Thank you for that. But also even people who are struggling with their identity of gender, they feel that maybe they were born a boy, but they feel that they are a girl inside, or vice versa. We have this thing about you're either or, and I don't know about you, but for me, the most liberating thing in the world is to say, I'm a blend. I'm an infusion. I love both my masculine and feminine side. Do I like to wear mustaches and beards? Yes. Do I want to be a man? No. But I love both of those aspects. And I think that's what we need to help foster in this world now, because it'd be so much less, perhaps violence against women, this dichotomy, this war against the sexes, battle against the sexes. Don't you think?
Oh, 100%. And what I love about this is, there's a passage that almost everyone knows. It's not about being Christian. I think everyone knows thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So one day when I was talking to my channel, I was talking to Abba, Dad. He said to me, sweetheart, he said, I meant that part, because he'll tell me which parts are inaccurate and which parts are accurate in all texts, not just the book, as he calls it. And so he said, I really meant that part. And so I started doing my soul work every day, which I take separate time. And then if I'm washing dishes, I work on it, whatever the concept is. So what I started working with God, and I don't come up with my own ideas. I just allow him to show me. In fact, it's one of the most best things you'll do, self-love. Just declare that you're going to stop thinking and let God handle things in flow gratitude. So I just lovingly demand that. So I walk around the house and I say, okay, if we're going to talk about making this heaven on earth, what does that look like? What does that look like? And so he works with me on that. And one of the things that he showed me, and we were just talking about it, is that you don't have a sex in heaven. God, who is love, has no judgment, that sex has nothing to do with love, that God doesn't care if we have sex with a goat. He doesn't care if we have an orgy. It's just so long as the goat and all the people in the room want to be there. God doesn't care. There's absolutely no judgment. And it has, so going back to that, if we're going to make this heaven on earth, no one would have any judgment for someone's appearance at all. And appearance shouldn't matter. And good gosh, I think it's always, I love this when we get together, because I always see what a setup it is. You know, obviously you and I wrote this in heaven because your nature is softer than mine.
Yeah.
And your voice is softer than mine. And you like to wear a beard. I look more like the girl. I sound like a dude. If someone had to guess, they'd say I was the one wearing the beard, but that's not it at all. And that's the beauty of the whole thing, is that, and I've grown up that way. I scare most masculine energy. I scare the hell out of them. You know what the positive about that is? I used to get upset about it, especially being psychic. Oh, good gravy. Now I don't get upset about it. What I realize is it's a positive. What it means is the guys who come around are very secure and wonderful, amazing, open people, so it's like Prince said. If someone said, why do you live in Minneapolis? He said, it's so cold, it keeps the bad people away.
Boom.
When you just vibe, right? When you just vibe like who you are, it keeps the bad people away.
And when you actually meet someone who loves and appreciates both sides of you, that's the thing. For so long, we're putting ourselves in tight shoes. I got to be a girl, so I got to look this way, or I got to be a boy, a man, so I can't cry, and I can't do this, and I can't do that, and I can't wear this, I can't wear that. So you're putting on these shoes that are so bloody tight. And then when you meet someone, when someone comes into your energy field, because you're resonating first of all, you're accepting yourself. When you accept yourself, both masculine and feminine, and somebody comes into your field, and they not only appreciate, but they appreciate your male side and your female side, your feminine side. That is like taking those shoes off and running barefoot on the most delicious grass you've ever had, because all of a sudden you can completely be yourself, and someone recognizes that and appreciates that. And that, to me, is like, you just hit the jackpot. That's just so delicious to me.
100%. If there's anywhere in any relationship that you're having where you compromise yourself and do not speak your truth and or act authentically, so where there's fear and you hold back, then you will have conflict in that relationship. It's required, because you're here to do one thing, and that's return to self-love, which is also own your power and be 100% in that place. To be able to be 100%, all authentic, all out, and feel accepted and safe, that's the only freedom. It's why we're here. And in that process of understanding self, you will also understand God. And that's what we're here to do. And so again, the really important thing there is to recognize that any tough relationship, or when you get your heart broken, that was scheduled. You asked that person to play that role to help you own your power so that you could get to your sacred partner. Not everyone, again, is here in this lifetime to have that sacred partner relationship, but let me say it a little bit differently. If you cruise through the classes and continue just loving, then you will, because every rejection is going to bring something else. You may find that in the relationship you're in. Now, this is amazing. I've seen it so many times over the last 10 years. When you really get someone to grab onto the concept, because you'll have people, you struggle in a relationship, you can love that person, but you struggle. You struggle because somebody has expectations, and expectations are suffocating. They feel like manipulation, and it's going to create conflict. And so when you can get somebody to actually understand in any relationship, not just a love relationship, they're all love relationships, This is with a child, between a child and a parent. This is maybe with your mother. It could be with your lover, your husband, whoever. When you truly choose to let go of the idea that you need anything from that person, and you let go of all expectations, and you just start acting like exactly who you are without manipulation. So you're not doing it to piss them off. You're not doing it, for any other reason or to throw it in their face. You just start being the change that you want to see in the relationship. I've seen things flip, because it's no joke. When your energy changes, we all share brain waves. Okay, so it's kind of funny. You could look at it this way. It's hysterical. So if you will just do that, in a way, they have to change. Either that or they'll go. And if they go, yay, that just means that God, who is love, the universe, is moving that person out of the way so that you can get your promotion. That's it. Your love promotion, because you were brave enough to be you anyway. And how do you do that? Because you cannot care about acceptance from another person on this planet. You're not here to be accepted and liked. Who wants to be liked anyway? I love this, to think about this. People are like, people want to be nice, you know what I mean? And that's to be liked. So they're polite. That's all inauthentic. It's all inauthentic. Inflowing gratitude, being polite. People are like, well, were you polite? What does that mean? It means you didn't say what you wanted to. Now, I'm not saying fire away at people. I'm talking about intimately in relationships. It's not time to be polite. It's time to be you. And, it's not time to be nice. I mean, when someone says, hey, do you like that? And someone says, yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's not what you want to hear, is it?
Right.
So don't be nice. Be bold. Be bold. Be empathetic. Be kind. Be passionate. Inflowing gratitude, and start to be that in your relationship. And again, that person's either going to follow their lead and like one day just bing, see you, and that passion will come into that relationship, or the universe will move that potato head out of your life. I have no idea why they just showed me that. They showed me. They did. They showed me Mr. Potato Head.
I love that.
Like
let's
couch potato.
Let's let our listeners too, because when you say someone just showed you the potato head, because people who are not familiar with Abigail and how you get so much of this wonderful wisdom, explain to our listeners when you said somebody just showed you Mr. Potato Head. What does that mean?
Yeah, that was Jay, Jesus Christ, Yeshua. He asked me to call him Jay some time ago. He's been with me since I was, as long as I remember, 2.5. My dad was an atheist, and I would tell people Jesus was hanging out with me. It didn't go over so well. It's kind of funny.
No.
Dad thought I was crazy. I swear my dad did. I could tell he did, and he'd just tell people I have an active imagination and that it was my mom's fault.
Of course.
And she let me watch too much TV.
Yeah.
It's like, so with that said, I know that's not true because I remember, but I have always been aware of my psychic abilities. And so in the last 10 years as a healer, I have really, I just gotten to a place where I got the bat phone on all the time, the walkie talkie, and I work talking to God. I do my best to stay in a place of surrender, with my life, which is fun. Oh, relief. I don't think about things. I do allow things to open and fold. It's not always easy, but it's a whole lot easier than trying to make plans and thinking and all that. So I say always because it's true. I mean, even when I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming and things like that. I don't always remember it, but in any given day, I am aware of Spirit's presence in my life all the time. In fact, so much so, and anyone can do this. Anyone can. We are all wired the same way. And science now knows that we are all receiving electrical current to our hypothalamus on the top of our head, always, which sends us holographic images and emotions, signals. And this gets interpreted by the brain, depending on how much fear we have. So that the less fear you have, the clearer you're going to interpret and feel this information. And that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years, is assisting people in clearing subconscious reactive patterns and beliefs, clearing energy from the chakras, same thing, but this is working. This is the permanent clear. It's working with the emotional base. It's called alchemy. And I've been doing that for the last 10 years. And so that has allowed me, or helped me, to really perfect this dialoguing, conscious dialoguing with God. And that's the way it was always intended. We were all meant to have this direction and guidance.
And if people want to get in touch with you too, to book a session, I think you have a special deal for Out of the Box Radio listeners. If they contact you, they can go to abigailnoel.com, right?
Yes. And it should be on abigailnoel.com. A great place to message me, that's the best place to message me. You can also find me on Facebook. With that said, let me get it up, actually I will. It'll be there. There's a $44. I'm just not sure it was on my front page, but I'll have time. So by the time people are listening, it'll be there. So it'll be an hour introductory for Out of the Box at $44.
Wow. That's amazing. An hour with you for $44?
For $44, yes.
Okay.
And I work as a ministry for anybody listening. I always have. I'm called to. So I keep my rates low, but I also limit my hours doing one-on-one sessions.
Yeah.
So, and the reason because I've been doing them for 10 years and I have other interests that call to me as well.
Plus you're extremely sought after. Abigail is sought after by a lot of folks, and you have a blog talk. You're featured on Facebook. You can find her on Facebook as well because you have like regular live Facebook appearances, and people can check you out there and communicate directly too with you there. I know we're going to be doing a series of blog talk on your Facebook page. We're going to be doing a series of blog talk get-togethers as well. So that's really exciting. But I would really encourage people to get in touch with Abigail because I've learned so much, I've grown so much, and thank goodness that I had Abigail's wise, connection and wisdom on so many of the things that I've gone through in the last year. Wow, it's been a year. Well, it's been a year since Out of the Box Radio, and I just can't believe the amount of growth. That's it. Yeah. If I had a word that like epitomized this last year for me personally, it's been growth.
Tons of growth.
Yes.
It's funny you say growth, and that voice in my head, my little subconscious voice went, painful growth.
So did mine.
Growth. We're grateful, but that shit was painful.
Well, you know what? Scar tissue. Sometimes when you look at scar tissue, you kind of go, "Gosh, I really wish I didn't have it." But at the same time, you're like, you know what? I freaking survived that bitch. I survived it. So I like scars. Scars are good.
That's right. No pain, no gain. No pain, no gain.
But what you get on the other side of that, like you said, as long as you don't become jaded, as long as you don't, turn it into some. A lot of people too. I think when we're talking about the heart, we're talking about Valentine's Day, we're talking about love. When it comes to romantic relationship, I don't know if it's because of the ego. Maybe it is, but when people, instead of looking at it like a rejection as a promotion, Abby, some people will take it as an affront to themselves, or I'm not good enough, or what's wrong with me. How do we, in the next few minutes here, how do we get people to turn that around? I know we could tell them that a rejection is ultimately a promotion, but when you're in the middle of it and your heart is attached to somebody, sometimes that's hard.
Yeah, and it's right away. It's like those are the kinds of questions where I'm glad I'm not asking Abigail because she has no clue whatsoever.
Then let's ask the higher powers that be.
Right. Let's ask the team.
What do you do when your
I know
heart's
the way
ripped
I've done
out?
heartbreak is what's that?
What do you do when your heart's ripped out and you're feeling like crap?
You baby yourself. You baby yourself. You love self in any way you can. And when I say this, like, sometimes there's no magic answer. Life is, I don't use this word very well, but I mean often, but they just said I could. Life is supposed to be hard. It's required. It's required. And, there's the Buddhists have a great term. Life is dukkha. Lightly translated, that means life is shit. And this, so put your boots on and enjoy it anyway. Once you don't mind something, once you really, kind of stew in it. And so when I say this, it's going to sound kind of wild. There was a day when I realized that no matter how much my heart was hurting in that moment, that I would rather take another heartbreak than ever break somebody's heart. I realized I was the lucky one.
Yeah.
I did. And I think that's what's coming through is those two things.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, here's another one. And thank God, I was going to say Abigail didn't know. This is from the team. Thank God. Ask to see through God's eyes. It's going to be hard at first, and you have to get yourself out of the way. You have to get anything that's personal, the part of you that's taking it personally. Almost always when rejection, it's because we outloved the other person. Almost always it's not what it looks like. And almost always that person is hurting in a different way and will. And I just checked in to make sure I was accurate, in a greater measure than your rejection.
Wow. Big chills. Lots of chills on that.
So if somebody rejects you, remember that they are almost always and most likely hurting more than you, which means they love themselves less. And then when you ask to see through God's eyes, you can meditate on a person in a relationship. It's really important. And you ask to see how God loves that person. You will almost always, if it's allowed, be shown, and you'll get, and it's feelings. And people always say, what, you just close your eyes, and you trust your imagination, you trust the visions, and you trust what you see, and you will almost always be shown, and you will feel. See, we are all truly one. So when you ask to feel, but in the heart sense, and feel what happened to that person to have made them so hardened or so closed off or so vindictive or so manipulative or so, passively aggressive or whatever it is, to make them the liar or the cheat or whatever it was that just severely wounded you. When you ask to see how God loves that person, you will almost be taken back to their childhood hurts. And when you feel their heart and you see that, it makes it so much easier to forgive that person. One more piece on that, though. Loving somebody does not ever mean that you lie down like a rug. Love is vulnerable, but love is so brave. It doesn't mind being vulnerable. Love does not lay down like a rug. So oftentimes these relationships, almost always these relationships are going to ask you to love and forgive hugely. That's the way you'll perceive it. Big things, betrayal or whatever that is. And we are also, both things are true. Loving someone means love yourself first. Oftentimes you're called to stand up for yourself in these relationships. But what that means often is walking on and walking alone. It's almost always required. Love does not like it when you hang on to one ship waiting for another. Yes. You won't ever get to your love partner, your sacred partner that way. You will be required to walk alone.
And let's talk, since we have a few minutes left, and you just mentioned our sacred partner. That's what I want to talk about. So, our sacred partner. Do you believe that not everyone meets their sacred partner in this lifetime, but maybe are they on the other side, or is there a connection?
You'll meet the one that you're here to meet. It's our expectations that keep it from being that fairy tale that we want. Number one. Mm-hmm. So only when you start to understand these love concepts and how to be the change you want to see in any relationship, then it'll start becoming very clear to you as you move through. But let me see if I can answer it simply. Any one of these partners, and they represent each element, you may be your sacred partner. So you may be, let's say you're here to master Earth. And on this particular time, in this particular lifetime, you are here to master the relationship to master Earth, and you're going to challenge fire, and you're going to make that your sacred partner. And so when I say this, the reason it's kind of tough to answer is because it depends on how that person wrote their movie. So I'll give two quick examples, which I think will answer it. And that is that, so let's say you're Earth and you're here to challenge fire. That means that you are really here to own your power in a major way. So the very typical love partnership, and it's a sacred partner if you're here to be with that person. Doesn't mean it's your same partner. It means it's the one you're written to be here. And sometimes you write in 2 or even 3 or 4 different relationships and or marriages in a life to get to the one that you're here to get to. And no, not everyone is here to have that twin heart reunion, as people say it, as people think of it, that perfect relationship. But let's say that, going back to this, you're writing a movie and you know that your light body, your level of education is not going to warrant your sacred partner in this particular life. Okay. But you want to write in the best possibility for an amazing love story that builds trust. You're still going to get to that happy place, even if it starts off a little rocky, because you've still got a lot of love classes to go. Make sense?
Right.
Then you might write in a movie like this. So you get with your soulmate, you go to the one that plays your fire partner, and you go, okay, I got to work on my fire classes, so I need you to come down and do this movie with me. All right, you're going to be my first. We're going to get married, and you're going to cheat all over the place on me. You're going to treat me like shit for like 10 years. And he goes, oh, baby, I love you. I hate playing those roles to you. And you go, I know, but I need you to do this. Okay.
I know you're going to call me all kinds of names, and you're going to probably want to.
Yes.
You're going to super glue my butt to the toilet.
Exactly. And what's funny is we watch those movies when we get back home to heaven together to learn, and we laugh. We're like, oh my God, I did that to you.
Remember when I keyed your car after you had an affair on me?
Exactly. Oh my God. So this is what we do. We get together in heaven. We know the classes we have to take. This is going to work out for him too, because now it's the relationship. So so that's where you go is now he's going to work on his relationship with Earth, which means this person who's mastering fire at that time, right? So you bounce in between different movies with all of your twin heart partners in different lifetimes.
Right.
Okay, until you get to your same partner, but you have to master the relationships between metal, wood, earth, water, and fire. And then when that balance is complete, you are then there to meet with your same partner, it's called. Same sacred partner. Okay, and that'll be the partner that's mastering the same element as you.
Right.
In gratitude. So there's 7 of you total in the end. At first you come down with 2. And oftentimes what that looks like for people when they write that movie. And then I forgot to go back to this one. So let's say he cheats on you for 10 years. All right, you even separate. But you have it written in to stick it out. So you're going to come back together. And that's going to build that trust, because once you own your power, that'll calm down his fire. That's what the whole plan is. See what I'm saying? So we play this out. Once you have mastered Earth, then you move on to master your next element, and you start over again. Kid you not, these are the Twin Heart Hunger Games. We do thousands of lives to get back to that same sacred partner, which almost always is actually they just validated. It is always the air partnership. That's the return. Wow. So when you're here to master air, you are here to return to your sacred partner. Woo. Your same.
And then you
Chills.
have
Did you feel that?
Then you have a big celebration, because you both got to be exhausted after that. You need to take a nap.
well, here's the thing though. Not everyone will challenge. Some people will only challenge, maybe let's say in their last lifetime, they almost got there. They just maybe they only have 12 credits they have to make up, and they've got their diploma. They'll just have come and have one crappy relationship, so that in this conscious lifetime, they can see what they don't want. Okay, these would be the slower students, the lazier, not the crazier. Okay, so the lazier students would take it slow and challenge little by little, and just come down and mess around with one partner here, and then, okay, maybe a good, decent relationship there. Okay, and they come back down. I said I would challenge the whole damn chart so that I could teach it.
Yeah.
And that's what they said, is you got to do it all at one time so I could consciously understand it. But a very high level soul that's ready to be with their sacred partner may come down here, and sometimes, this is a fun one, sometimes they want to save it so that they can literally meet, like some people even like to meet like in college or even before that, know they're the one and have that long-term relationship where they stay together. Some people literally finish all their classes and then come back to do that with their sacred partner. So there's a jillion different ways to do this. Make sense?
Yeah.
But it all has to be done.
Yes. Yes. Wow. I love you, Abigail Noel.
I love you. I wanted to tell you, it's funny because when it even gets close, like it just started getting close to February, and I was talking to Camille, coincidentally, synchronistically, I was talking to Camille, and I said to her, I said, oh my God, it's almost February. I said, that's Christine month. I said, that's Bossdale month. I said, because I've never met anyone that loves Valentine's Day as much as her. I said, she has inspired me to love Valentine's Day. And I did not.
I know.
For years, I didn't. And that's, you know, I've been a strong and psychic and a strong energy female, just let's just say, you know, and it's my contract. Just say relationships have been, you know, a little blah. And so Valentine's, you know, month is kind of like blah for me. And also the commercialization of it, in my mind, I think we've just ruined Valentine's Day and Christmas. And I don't mean that in the way, it's just that I don't care what people do, except why create that much stress for yourself? I think we should just name February like Love Celebration Month. And then December should just be a whole month of giving. That way we don't have to stress out for one day.
Exactly.
That's my idea, right?
Yes. I think I agree 100,000%. I do.
And we don't have to give monetarily for either one. It's not about
it's not about that.
We know this. Yeah.
It's
it is about chocolate and ice cream and stuff like that.
And lingerie. No.
Yeah, and sexy stuff, you know, if you got that going on, but it's not about, you know, I don't need pendants and diamonds and jewels.
No,
it's the jangles. Chocolate though, I'll take.
The greatest gift is someone, you
know
what?
Chocolate.
The greatest gift is actually someone's focused attention and caring about you. That's really the most important thing. Because you know, time, you can't buy time. So
100%, it's the most valuable gift you'll ever give someone, and that is the gift of time.
So remember that, folks. Remember that when Valentine's Day comes around. Please think about that instead of getting all the little other stuff. I want to thank you so much, Abigail Noel, for joining us today on Out of the Box Radio. And I also want to let people know that they can get an incredible offering from a wonderful gift already. This is an incredible gift. That would make a great also Valentine's gift. There you go. The gift of time, Abigail's time. Go to abigailnoel.com. And for first-time folks, she's going to give you an introductory offer for a session, an hour-long session for $44. And it's Abigail, Abigail, Noel, Noel.com. And thank you so much, my dear. I'm I just love and adore you. And anytime I can have you on the show, I will. So we'll have you back again.
Oh, thank you. Soon. I love you so much. Just blessed by your presence, and I'm honored to do this show anytime. It's one of my favorite things to do. Let's see. Happy Love Month to you.
Happy Love Month to you.
And I'll see you next month as I'm cruising through on my way back home to Northern California.
That's right.
So.
That's right. Okay, we'll do some stuff with you here on in the studio. We'll do some
Yay!
Live stuff. Yes. And I want
to
I just want to thank our listeners so much for joining in this hour. If you want to make sure you never miss an episode of Out of the Box Radio, you can go to YouTube, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and subscribe to the podcast. And as always, I always remind you to think outside of the box. Bye for now.